Warning: Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Hey, we coming back. Hey. Oh.
It's in the shoulders.
They're lying.
No, that's real. That's how you know if he has.
Let somebody teach them how to post it. Somebody teach them how to post it.
All right, these are your clowns for the morning.
What it do, family and friends? Welcome back to the Church of Black Power. If you're not subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like, share, and hype button if you're catching this on the replay so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please hit the link in the description, go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations, as well as hitting the other link, joining the Telegram group to help circumvent some of the shadow banning that PukeTube has been doing as of recently. And with that being said, family, welcome back. Oh, family, we got some things to talk about here today. That's why I just labeled it a news drop, because we got much to discuss. Much to discuss. Before we do, let me go ahead and get right into it. Right on into it. Let me give a B1 salute to our sister Aquarius Minded in the building. Much love to you, my sister Queen, and thank you for being here as always, my sister, and thank you for being the modding it up. Shout out to you, and shout out to our good brother DSB in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here as well, and thank you for being a mod as well. Thank you for your membership for 11 months strong, my warrior brother. Much love to you, and I appreciate all your contributions. Shout out to A. McMill in the building. Much love to you, as well as our sister Cooking with Miss D. Shout out to you, and thank you for being a mod, and thank you for being here as well, my sister, as well as our good brother Reparations Nation in the building. Much love to you, and thank you also for being a mod and being here as well, my warrior brother. A B1 salute to our sister Renaissance Woman in the building. Shout out to you, as well as our sister Honey Brown Sugar in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Peachy Yellow Rose is in the building. Shout out to you, and thank you for being here. Our good brother Jesse Paris is in the building. Shout out to you, my warrior brother. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being a mod as well. Our sister, some chick named Star in the building. Shout out to you, and thank you for being here, my sister Queen. As always, the black man called Preston in the building. Shout out to you, my brother, and thank you for being here as well. As our good brother Reef in the building. Shout out to you. Thank you for being here, my brother, and thank you for being a mod as well. Doc B1 FBA in the building. Shout out to you, and thank you for being here, family, as well as our good brother Zavon Scott is in the building. Shout out to you, my warrior brother, and our good family, A Law Solution. Shout out to you, and shout out to the Chi-Town. Much love to you, and thank you for being here as well, family. Much love. And to everybody who's not in the chat, and for everybody who'll catch this on a replay, much love to you all. Much love to you all. Now, family, I wanted to start out and shout out to our sister Stolen Ancestors in the building. Much love to you, my sister Queen, and thank you for being here, and thank you for your gift. Your gift is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, my sister Queen. Much love to you, and thank you once again. And shout out to our sister Astarte Jones in the building. Shout out to you, my warrior sister Queen, and thank you for being here. Now, I wanted to start off with something real light. I want to give a shout out to this brother. His name is, if you haven't heard of him as of yet, shout out to our good brother Breeze Omega in the building. Much love to you. And if y'all not following, make sure y'all toss him a follow, as well as our sister Anita Harrell. Now, in case y'all don't know who this brother is, he goes by the name of John Batiste, and he's a FBA legacy musician out there in New Orleans. And Our brother's going to be dropping a new album November 14th, I believe it is. And so I wanted to highlight the brother, you know, because I enjoy his music and I enjoy the way that he's actually able to, well, I'll let you see it for yourself. So let's go here, family. Give me 1 second to pull it up. There we go. Let's go here. Enjoy.
So can you show us how you can break a barrier, a musical barrier, go from one genre to another?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we were just messing around, being that we're at Julia, you know, Beethoven, you know. But you know, the blues. Gospel.
That is amazing. So can you show us?
Shout out to our sister Hurricane Nisi in the building. Much love to you, my sister Queen, and thank you for being here, and thank you for being the mod as well, my sister. Now, like I said, I just wanted to highlight this brother here because, you know, I really enjoy his music, and a lot of his music, what he's doing is basically taking back every form of music and bringing it back to the black side. So, you know, like I said, I just want to show him some love, especially just the uniqueness of his talent. I love it. Just wanted to take a second to highlight that. Now, let's get into some news, shall we? Let's get into some news. Family, in case you haven't heard, Rand Paul has called Anthony Fauci into Congress to testify, trying to get him to slip up because, as you all know, Joe Biden gave him a blanket pardon, basically. But that pardon doesn't cover state crimes, nor does it cover any future crimes like perjury to Congress. And so they called him in and they questioned him about his role. They questioned him about gain of function research. And they questioned him about his diary, which basically is a validation for everybody who didn't want to take the Jabberwocky. My page was shut down because I was quite literally posting things directly from the CDC. And my Instagram was shadow banned. It was shut down a couple times. And then when they brought it back, it was shadow banned, something heavy. And it's still shadow banned till this day. All because I was just telling the truth about the Jabberwocky. Well, when you go and read Fauci's diary, he's admitting that they were just playing it by ear. He's admitted that they had no idea what they were doing to begin with. And when you think back to that time of the planned gimmick, as I call it, when you think back to the planned gimmick, there was many of us who they was trying to convince to go and be the guinea pigs for this before anybody else had to take the Jabberwocky. And that was foundational Black Americans. And now they're still trying to push the line, talking about when everybody else was sick, Black America caught the flu. No. Quite literally, when you read Fauci's diary, he's basically telling you that he was trying to use us as another Tuskegee experiment. And this is what many of us, was going around telling everybody. We had to remind people about Tuskegee. We had to remind people about the medical apartheid system. We had to remind people that they have always tested on us. Always. So for everybody who did not fall for the gimmick, shout out to all of you. And you've been vindicated. What I find interesting is that Fauci didn't answer not one question. He pled the fifth to everything they asked him, and it was hilarious. One of the representatives asked him, he said, let's test this out. He said, what color is the carpet? Fauci pleaded the fifth. He said, what color is your tie? He said, Fauci pleaded the fifth. He said, how many of us are in this room? Fauci pled the fifth. Fauci, quite literally, and it's hilarious to me, somebody made this clip, but I'm going to play it here because this is exactly what Fauci was doing. Shout out to our sister Brooke in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, as well as our good brother Black RU and DJ Black 909, as well as our sister Val Hawkin in the building. Much love to all of you, and thank you all for being here. This is what Fauci was basically doing, and like I said, this wasn't a funny situation, but God dang it, somebody had to go and make it funny. Let's go here.
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything you say, fifth. Go ahead, ask me a question. Did you? Fifth. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything you say, fifth. Go ahead, ask me a question. Did you? Fifth.
I don't know who put that together, but God dang it, I hate you for it. Because God dang it, I was going to come on here and get real serious about Fauci. And then I saw this and I was like, yeah, this is exactly what Fauci did. No matter what the question was, that man said, on the advice of my counsel, I choose to plead the fifth. Oh, but now I can't unsee it. We're going to do it one more time.
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything you say, fifth. Go ahead, ask me a question. Did you? Fifth. I plead the fifth.
Well, like I said, I hope they get this bastard for everything he's done because he deserves to go down for it. I hope he slips up and they catch him some sort of way. That's just me. Now, moving on, there's a case that is very interesting to me because there's this situation where a father of somebody who went on a pum spree out in Georgia, I think his name is Alan Dershowitz, as a matter of fact. Alan Dershowitz. He has been convicted due to his lack of parenting and the fact that his son, he did not get his son any type of medical treatment, nor did he remove the ability of his son to get to his firearms. So now the father is being charged, and it seems like people have a problem with it. But they shouldn't. Because, they opened the door for it themselves. And we're going to get into it. So let's go here first. I want to show you. There we go.
Today, Cullen Gray, the father who gave his teenage son a gun used in the 2024 Appalachia high school shooting, where 2 students, 2 teachers were murdered, was sentenced to 15 years in prison. A jury convicted the father of 27 charges, which includes second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter. Here's what the judge said at sentencing.
None of the crimes that you're convicted of require mandatory prison. On September 4th, 2024, lives and families were forever altered. You are the but for you failing to get cult help, but for your failure to remove access to the guns. This doesn't happen. September 4th would have been a normal day. You didn't intend to commit these crimes that you've been convicted of. But the loss here is profound.
Cullen Gray is the first parent of a school shooter to be convicted of murder. His sentencing comes 2 days after his son's 16-year-old Colt Gray was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. His son had pleaded guilty to all 4 murders. Professor Emeritus at Harvard University, Alan Dershowitz, joins me. Good afternoon, sir. And what makes this case notable, besides the fact, the horrible tragedy of 4 lives are lost, is that it is apparent.
I am tripping, family. I said I thought that the dude's name was Alan Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz is the goddamn attorney. It's been a long day, but he's a goddamn attorney and was the attorney for Epstein. They say he's been cleared of all wrongdoings except that massage that he admits to getting. But yeah, this is who Alan Dershowitz is. But listen to what he has to say about the father and how this is unprecedented.
Who has been convicted and sentenced because of the acts of his sons, the but for. Your thoughts of holding parents accountable like this?
Well, this is a trend that's increasing, and it clearly violates due process, civil liberties, and fair notice. If you want to hold...
Now, remember, he says that it violates due process, civil liberties. Okay? I wanted to put a pin in that.
Parents responsible, pass a statute which sets out criteria. Intent is an important criteria. The judge here found no intent. The judge is just making it up, and the prosecutor's just making it up. We hate the fact that these innocent people died, and we know that the parents are morally responsible, but there's no basis in criminal law for holding them responsible for murder absent a statute. So this is one of these situations where judges think that they have a roving commission to do justice and do good. That's not the way the law works. The law requires specific prohibitions, very clear, fair notice to the family. Nobody could have known that failure to take action would result in a murder conviction. You know, in general, omissions in America are not crimes. We don't have rules that say if you see somebody drowning, you must jump in the pool and save them. Other European countries do have that. We do have some omissions. Obviously, failure to pay taxes is a crime. But when you come to crimes like murder, the most serious crimes, there must be a specific statute. So if you want to hold parents responsible, and that's probably a pretty good idea, go to the drafting table, draft a statute, make it clear, give fair warning, tell parents that if they give a child a gun based on a record of the kind this person had, you can be convicted if he does something wrong. By the way, under this theory, he could have been convicted even if the son never fired a shot, just by giving him the gun and failing to take action. The result was not relevant to the actual culpability. He couldn't have been convicted.
The result was not relevant? The man gave his son a gun. The man knew that his son was unstable. Or they claim he was unstable. And he gave his son a gun anyway. What do you mean? Like I said, family, these people will quite literally try to make up, down, and down, up. They will make the sensible nonsensible, and the nonsensible they will try to make sensible. Continue, Alan.
Convicted of murder, obviously, if there were no dead bodies, but he could have been convicted of other serious crimes. So this is a very dangerous precedent, and we shouldn't let our sympathy, understandably, for the 4 people who were killed or our antagonism toward the father for not doing enough, we shouldn't hold that as a basis for a criminal conviction. That endangers every parent in America.
You mean like how Kamala Harris went after the parents for children ditching school? You mean, you know what? Let's not even go with the Kamala Harris thing. That's too easy. That's too easy. Some people might say, well, that's when she was in California. That was some years ago. You know, that's okay. That's too easy. All right, fine. Let's go here. See, y'all open the door for everything that happens to you, and then you want to complain about it. Y'all remember this? This wasn't not too long ago. Shout out to my good brother Ayo in the building. Much love to you. And thank you for being here, my good brother, as well as the Ruby Runner in the building. Much love. And thank you for being here. And Sa'afa in the building. I hope I said that right. Much love to you. And thank you for being here as well as our good brother John's son in the building. Shalom to each and every one of you. And thank you for being here. Family, let's go here. Like I said, these folks open the door for everything that they're doing to themselves and then complain about it. Y'all know about these teen takeovers? Or what they're calling teen takeovers?
Being with us here at 10 o'clock, I'm Josh Chapin, D.C.'s top prosecutor, rolling out a new plan to crack down on juvenile crime as we get closer to summer break. The U.S. Attorney for D.C., Janine Pirro, says her office will start charging parents if their kids are involved in so-called teen takeovers.
My office will aggressively prosecute parents under D.C.'s curfew law. And the specific statute that we will use is a violation of D.C. Code 22-811. This statute makes it unlawful for an adult to enable, facilitate, or permit a minor to engage in delinquent acts. The penalty is up to 6 months imprisonment.
Now, this is an issue we have covered extensively, notably in Navy Yard, where 7 News has seen hundreds of teens gathering on the weekends, getting into fights, and in some cases, assaulting police officers. Our Felicia Ashley went into the community tonight, got reaction from people in Navy Yard.
I went back to the neighborhood commissioners and parents who said that they wanted something done after seeing some of the destructive behavior when swarms of teens and kids would flood to Navy Yard. U.S. Attorney Pirro said this is the first weekend that they could start prosecuting the parents. Is this that accountability you all were looking for?
Not exactly. I think it's federal overreach. You know, the accountability that I was talking about really needs to happen on a local level. Like we need to start investing more in our communities and our families.
Is this the answer you're looking for?
It is. I'm honestly happy with the accountability piece of this when it comes to parental accountability, because we've dealt with this now for a year.
Nick Wilson is a parent of teens and a neighborhood commissioner in Navy Yard.
One, we don't want the teens coming in and committing crimes and causing troubles. But also, one of the things that we found out when we talk to teens is sometimes coming out is better than what's going on in their households.
Edward Daniels is also a commissioner who says he's for Pirro's actions, but not the method.
Her means of addressing the situation, I think that we can address this with local resources, meaning MPD. I don't think that we need federal resources.
If you drop your kid off and you fail to supervise them, or you let them skip school to join the chaos, you are going to face fines, court-ordered classes, and possible jail time.
Policing and putting people in jail is actually kind of how we got to where we're at now. There's no one at home because they got locked up and thrown in jail. We're not going to police our way out of this situation.
I agree with holding parents accountable for the activity of their kids, especially those that have just turned a blind eye to what the kids are doing.
We have hardworking moms and dads. I don't feel like they need to be punished because they're working hard, a 9 to 5 or sometimes a 4 to 12 or whatever it happens to be.
It sends a clear message to the parents that you must supervise your kids or face criminal consequences.
Pirro said parents could spend up to 6 months in jail, and she said it would be under the charge of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Now reporting from Navy Yard in Southeast D.C., Felicia Ashley, 7 News.
Shout out to our sister Patricia A. Jones in the building, as well as our sister Tiffany Jackson in the building. Now, family, when it's our kids, they trying to lock up every parent they can. And all they're doing is skipping school like every other child has done. I don't want to say every child, but a lot of children have done, whether black, white, whatever, and skipping out or breaking curfew. But when a father gives his mentally unstable child a gun and that child decides to go to a school and unalive people's children, then it's, unprecedented, and it's a danger to charge the parent. This week in Nabiscos are hypocrites. I keep telling these people over and over again, everything that they think is coming down a pipeline for us, it's really for them. And they're going to see all of this starting to hit their doorstep, knocking right there. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm here for you. That's the history of this country, and that's what will continue. Because these hateful son of a guns, they cheer on situations like the teen takeover. Yeah, get out there, go arrest them parents. But then when it knocks on their door, oh, everybody got something to say.
You know, and sort of as another topic related to this, I always think when I hear sentencings, you know, how do judges decide, 15 years, 10 years, 30 years, 25 years? I mean, I always think like, it's almost like there's no way to be certain what, if you do believe someone is legally responsible and convicted legally, I think, how do you decide?
Well, judges make it up. He said there was no mandatory sentence. How does he assigns 15 years because there are 4 dead people, but that doesn't involve the culpability of the defendant in this case. He also made a finding that there was no intent and that the father didn't know, he couldn't have anticipated. So it's a just made up sentence. It's like the Cadi sitting underneath the fig tree and dispensing justice in the old days. That's not the way the American system of justice works. You have to have a criminal statute. It has to be clear. It has to be knowable in advance. This conviction violates every fundamental rule since the Magna Carta, and I hope it will be reversed, even though this guy deserves a special place in hell for what he failed to do to prevent all these lives. But there's a difference between going to hell, which is something that is divinely inspired, and going to jail, which is based on criminal statutes. This man does not belong in jail based on the absence of these criminal statutes.
So this man just quite literally said, just allow the man to get punished after he dies. Just allow him to get punishment after he dies. Understand there's a difference between going to jail and going to hell. He'll be judged after he leaves this planet. Nah, let him be judged right here. Just like y'all love to try to judge us, you try to judge our parents and judge their parents and whoever else. Oh, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, was good for the geese. Let him. That's that type of stuff that they try to tell you. Worry about your reward after you die. They're telling us to worry about his punishment. Let his punishment be after he dies. Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not going to sit back and just allow a person to live the rest of their life knowing that they're giving guns to their children and then neglectfully turning the blind eye while the child go and do some stuff with that gun and unalive other people. Nah, that is the hugest form of neglect. If not a conspiracy. He may not have the intent on who is going to be unalive, but he damn sure knows that he's teaching his child to unalive people. Continue, Alan.
He deserves to be condemned. He deserves to be criticized, but he does not deserve, and we don't deserve, to see him criminally prosecuted based on the absence of specific.
We?
In order for there to be a we, there has to be a me. And you will notice we is just me flipped upside down. So the next time you decide to make a we statement, make sure it includes me.
What do you mean we don't deserve to see him go to jail? No, that's exactly what the American people deserve to see. I already said, once you start getting at these folks' parents, these folks are going to start losing their minds. And that's what you're seeing right here. We don't deserve to see him go to jail. Speak for yourself. Or maybe you are. Maybe by we, you're talking about Nabiscos. We don't deserve to see him go to jail. Well, I good sir, would disagree. Exactly, Val. You'd be under the jail by now. Let me have given my son one of my guns and let him just go out into the world. Oh, yeah, they're coming after me. They're hitting me with negligence. They're hitting me with accessory. They're hitting me with conspiracy. But for these folks, we don't deserve to see them get put in jail, even though they deserve to go to hell. Shout out to our sister Andrea Jones in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for this comment. Make their heaven or hell right here on earth. Exactly. In the flesh, in the very same way they did to us. Now, for this next clip here, yeah, this is it here. All right, for this next clip, family, Ramen Noodles thought that he can go out, and I guess he was thinking he was doing something, saying something, but apparently not. This man got booed the hell off the stage. Shout out Cassandra. Thank you for being here. Much love to you, my sister. Let's continue.
The truth of the matter is, no matter what happens in whichever direction we go, people of my generation have already made it. We're going to be fine. It's going to be your generation that pays the price. That choice belongs to you. You're a political cretin, and you need to get the fuck out of here. The truth of the matter is, that choice belongs to you. You're a political cretin, and you need to get the fuck out of here.
You are a political cretin, and you need to get the F out of here. Oh, man. Say it again.
You're a political cretin, and you need to get the fuck out of here. The truth of the matter is,
yeah, it looks like Vivek, all those governing dreams of Vivek's, yeah, every time he goes out, it's just a hard crash in reality. These folks keep telling him left and right how much he is hated. And this man just keep on going out there. He just keeps on going out there. And I'm all for it. Go ahead, Vivek. Continue your tour. I want to see how many boos you can get within the next 2 weeks. This is what happens when you're a lapdog. This is what happens when you like to, sniff masses behind. You'll never be massa. You'll always be a mutt. And they'll always treat you like the mutt that you are. Until it's time for you to go and bite somebody. See, you're a tool. And the supremacist is quite literally showing you everywhere you go. And every time you talk to them directly, they keep telling you the same damn thing. Nobody likes you. And nobody's going to vote for you. And Coulter told you face to face. And now here you are. Once again, being booed off the stage. Forced out of your press conference. Oh, such deliciousness.
the truth of the matter is, no matter what happens in whichever direction we go, people of my generation have already made it. We're going to be fine. It's going to be your generation that pays the price. That choice belongs to you. You're a political cretin, and you need to get the fuck out of here. The truth of the matter is,
Shout out to Zavon, because that's exactly what it reminds me of. I'm gonna be honest with you. It reminds me of amateur night at the Apollo. Womp womp. Somebody come out with the broom, sweep this man the hell up out of here. Oh, yeah, that's how he feels right now. White folks just won't love me. What is going on? I'm doing all the things that they told me to do. I talk stuff about the black people. I talk stuff about illegals. I talk stuff about immigration. I even talk about how, I was a birthright citizen, but I want everybody else to do it correctly. Why won't they love me? Yeah. Vivek, I'm going to go ahead and let Lil Nicky tell you what you need to do.
Sit down and shut the fuck up, bitch!
Now, family, moving on. Tallarico. Remember I told you in the last broadcast that I've been seeing all these different ads where Tallarico is saying, I just go ahead and shoot me $5, player. Shoot me $5. Well, the $5 have turned to $1. He's like, look, player, look. I guess $5 was a big of too much of an ask. But go ahead, shoot your boy $1. $1. Well, that dollar must be working, because apparently Tallarico is up in the polls. Well, at least a little bit. Let's go here, family. This is the first clip that I was telling you guys that I saw.
$5 to win a Senate majority so that we can hold the people in power accountable. $5 may not sound like a lot, but if you give $5 and then the next person watching this video gives $5, it adds up real fast. And then all of a sudden, we have the resources we need to win.
All right, so that was the first one. This is the next one I saw. This was just a couple of days ago.
I'm lowering my ask to just $1 today. And here's why. This Senate race in Texas is likely going to be the most expensive and the most competitive in the country this November. Flipping this Senate seat and taking back the Senate majority will require an unprecedented amount of donations. If a historic victory in Texas is worth even just $1 to you, please chip in today.
All right, so that was that. And now this is what I just got here today.
Rico edging out Ken Paxton
That's
by 3 points within the margin of error. I have to say, personally, I'm very doubtful that this number holds. I think it's going to be another one of these examples where Democrats, they've been dreaming of turning Texas blue for decades, largely because of racial dynamics that of course, Democrats are obsessed with race. And so they think that because of the demographics that they can make headway there. The problem is you get a candidate like Donald Trump comes along, a Republican, and it completely throws all of their racial ideas out the window, which is so delicious in politics. But they're going to spend a lot of money at it, and I think that's probably a good thing. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be really hard for a Democrat, especially James Tallarico, to manage to win in the Lone Star State.
And, well, Fox News poll also says the most important issue in Texas is inflation, the high prices. So if that's the case, Ken Paxton, he's a staunch conservative. He wants to cut taxes. He's anti-woke. He vows to decrease costs of groceries and housing and health care. He wants to complete the border wall, and he's backed by President Trump. If you're Tallarico, he's the one who said God is non-binary. In a Zoom video that resurfaced, he praised an opportunity to end over-policing. He suggested that Americans should reduce meat consumption, leading Ken Paxton to nickname him Tofu Tallarico.
So here's the problem is Ken Paxton's not raising.
Tofu Tallarico. Oh, I love that name for him. Tofu Tallarico. Yeah, I'm gonna give you my take on this, family. Tallarico's going to start crashing out real soon. He's going to start crashing out real soon because he don't have foundational Black Americans to back him up. And he needs foundational Black Americans to back him up. He needs foundational Black Americans to back him up. He's going to need Mexicans to back him up. He's going to need as many people as possible. You have to understand, this is Texas. And the machine here is strong, just like the machine in goddamn California or New York. And the fact that Tallarico, as I've already reported on and shown, Basically, he does not support reparations, even though these folks are going around trying to act like he does. Nothing the man says shows that he's speaking about reparations in the way we're speaking about reparations. He's talking about his own kind of reparations, and we're talking about cash goddamn payments. We're talking about real policy. We're talking about real change. And he's talking about Democrat reparations. We're not talking the same language. So yeah, Tallarico will be the next to go. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. He is not going to make it anywhere. As I told these people to their faces, if you do not do nothing for foundational Black Americans, if you do not bring us policy, if you do not bring us our reparations, our hate crime bill, if you do not stop for our interest, you're going to lose. And I mean this. There's a lot of things happening on a cosmic scale. And you ignoring us, that right there ain't going to be allowed on the cosmic scale any further. There are cosmic consequences to ignoring us. And I'm going to get to that in a second. Even that, not just ignoring us, messing with us, disrespecting us, disrespecting our lineage, heritage, or culture. There are cosmic scales of things that you need to look out for. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But Tallarico, I don't see you going anywhere, to be honest with you. Not that I want Ken Paxton to win. Don't really care for Ken Paxton either. But like I said, my couch is who I'm voting for. I just want to look at the Ottoman section and decide which Ottoman I'm going to be using later on in the year to match that couch. Now, it's crazy, family, because we've been talking about all the corruption in the Democratic Party. We've been talking about all of the backhanded things that they're doing to their Black Democrats while funding the DSA and all this other stuff. We've been talking about it for a while. And we've been telling everybody that the Democrats do not care about Black people. No matter what you hear, no matter who tells you, if it's Democrats and Black people, Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, if you hear those two in a sentence together and there's some positive in there, you must expect to be lied to. If they're telling you the Democrats have done A, B, and C, or they're trying to do A, B, and C, or the Democrats love Black people, or they're trying to fight for Black people's rights, know that you're being lied to. Let's be really clear. But guess what? If you don't, you'll have to find out the hard way. Just like Tether Luke had to do. Now Tether Luke is not only going against the Democratic Party, but he's admitting to everything that we've been saying about them for a while now. So now Luke is admitting that there's election fraud going on and the Democrats are doing it. Oh, you don't say. Yes, I say. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to agree with Donald Trump, but on this one, I got to agree with him. These career politicians, Democrats that I've always supported, in my congressional race, they are really cheating. One of the candidates, she has people knocking on seniors' doors, telling these seniors that they will take their ballot to the box, opening up the ballot, changing the vote, and dropping it in the box. They call them ballot harvesters. I didn't even know this even existed. See, I'm a career politician in this race. And I always said everything Trump says is a lie. He's making excuses. But he's right. These people do rig elections. They're literally going to seniors' house, and you can look at it on the data machine as to who voted and who didn't vote. So they're going to these seniors' houses, knowing that they do not have the resources to get in the car all the time to go and vote. So they're offering their assistance and going to these people's house. They got the money to pay for it. This is bad. This is absolutely bad. Absolutely bad. You got to win by cheating. Unbelievable. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're a liar and you're a cheater.
Family. Why Luke hit them with the lines? He sound like an old school jaded song by a lover. You're a liar and you're a cheat. And I don't know why I let you do this to me. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. It's just hilarious. These people find out the hard way, and then they turn around. They got the sad music in the background. They got the sad look on their face, distraught, like all that I done been through, and they're doing this to me. Why? Oh, family, I promise you, when I saw this, I was in tears. I was in tears. I never cry when the chickens come home to roost. I never cry when I see a chicken hop over the fence just to go cock-a-doodle-doo. They should have known that's what's going to happen. We've been telling these people. And now these people are finding out on they damn own that, yeah. All I got to say is that they don't give a damn about you. Oh, family. I love it for you. I love it for you. No worries. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to lay off you, Luke, because I feel like you're dealing with enough as it is. I feel like your brain is trying to break down and restructure everything that you thought you knew about the Democratic Party because they didn't turn their sights on you. So I'm going to let you go ahead and deal with that issue in your brain. I'm not going to beat down on you too much. But next time I see you, Luke, I don't want to see you back on the tap dancing stage. Well, the Democrats been feeding me all this time, and I'm going to keep on eating, and I won't stop now. All right. Now, family, do y'all remember Troy Jackson? The man who was debating in Maine and really couldn't debate worth the damn. Some information about him came out. He's one of those DSA people. He's one of the speakers for the union out there, But a little bit more tea has come out about this this old man. And family, I'm going to need you to go ahead and get your cups ready because I'm about to pour this tea out. It is piping hot. If you like some sugar cubes, they're right there in front of you. You like a little milk. I don't know about milk and tea, but some people do it. It's right there. I got a little honey for you there. Just go ahead and enjoy. Because it has come out that Troy Jackson, DSA member, oh, you pissed somebody off. You pissed somebody the hell off. Troy Jackson's longtime lover and mother of his children is his second cousin. Oh, there's some real Alabama stuff going on in Maine. There's some real Alabama stuff going on in Maine. Oh, we gonna get into it. Let's get into it. We can start here. Now, Democrat U.S. Senate candidate Troy Dale Jackson, 58, and his fifth pacemaker, finds his his cousin. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read it. I'm seeing all the chat going off. Yes. That's why I said we got to have the Tea Party here today, family. All right, let's get back to it. Now, Democrat U.S. Senate candidate Troy Dale Jackson, 58, on his fifth pacemaker, finds his own ancestry under the same microscope that eventually ran his predecessor, oyster hobbyist Graham Planter, out of American politics and into hiding. Jackson, a 26-year politician and lobbyist, has made a career of bragging that he is a fifth-generation logger. But you don't have to go far back. You don't have to go far back the generational line to find where it crossed paths with the ancestor of his significant other, Lana Pelletier. Lana Pelletier. All right. Let's get to it. Allagash tipsters and genealogical records confirmed that Jackson, longtime significant other, Lana Pelletier, his high school sweetheart and mother of his two children, his high school sweetheart and mother of his two children, his high school sweetheart and mother of his two children. Oh, Chance in Camden is in fact his second cousin by blood. Jackson and Pelletier share the same great grandparents, Thomas Pelletier and Edith DeBow. Dobadoo? Whatever. I know I butchered that name, but it's whatever. Thomas and Edith's daughter, Albertine, that is a hell of a name, was Troy's grandmother. Their son, Louis Jr., was Lana's grandfather. That makes Troy and Lana, second cousins on the Pelletier line. Family, what in the Deep South is going on here? What is going on here? And this is the man who they chose to run in Maine. Democratic Socialist Party. Okay. Family, I see it in the chat, family. I'm just as disgusted as you. This is his high school sweetheart and mother to his two goddamn children. So his children aren't just brothers. His children are cousins too. Oh, man. Oh, man. This right here. I'm just saying, the Beverly Hillbillies ain't got nothing on these people here. Shout out to Rosalind in the building. Oh, the Neanderthals were closely related to themselves. Oh, yes, Renaissance woman. Hold up. I just came back and we're talking about hillbilly marriages. It just went there. It just went there. Shout out Rashima Rice in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. These damn inbreeding mother need to go. I'm with you, family. This is relative attraction. Oh, family. I knew y'all was going to come with the fire for this one. I knew you was going to come with the fire. However, family, let's move to the next subject. Family. Remember when I said that there are cosmic situations happening? People disrespecting us. They're losing out on our money due to the blackout. They're getting deported due to us not standing with nobody. And now, like Ghana, I must send the same warning to you Asians. Lucy Lou's and Juan Kim's, I'm going to need you all to come to the front. Mrs. Swans, come on to the front. I'm going to need you to listen to me and listen to me very clear. Leave foundational Black Americans alone. Don't talk about us. Keep our names out of your mouths. Leave our people alone. There are cosmic consequences messing with us. Well, technically, you get cosmic consequences by messing with us. So I want to give you this fair warning. Just stop. Just stop. Go about your business. Reconfigure how you're going to move on. Just quite literally leave us the hell alone. Otherwise, the ancestors will continue to do what they're doing. And in case you all don't know, the ancestors have shown up and shown the hell out in China. Family, do you know that in China, a freaking mountain collapsed? A freaking mountain collapsed, opening the floodgates and flooding China to the core. Oh, yeah. Let me pull this down so I can bring that up. Let me pull this down so I can bring this up right here. Yeah, buddy. Let's go here, family.
Let's get back to that mountain collapse in southwest China's Chongqing. CDTN reporter Lu Siray joins me from Pengshui County. Siray, what can you tell us about the latest rescue operation?
Yeah, so behind me right now is the landslide site. And as you can see, the rain is still a little bit drizzling right now. In fact, just minutes ago, it was still quite intense. The weather changes just as fast as this. In fact, it continues like this the whole night last night. And at 6 o'clock in the morning, it started pouring, which is really not a good sign for today's our focus, which is research and rescue team and rescue efforts. And also, as you can see, that local authorities have restricted access to the landslide site. Right now, only the rescuers are allowed to enter the site. I hope you can see that these red dots on these rocks. They are actually the rescue workers, which is still quite dangerous right now to work on the site because of the heavy rainfall just now. And the heavy rainfall lasted the whole night last night. It might still cause another round of landslide or other secondary disasters, but it's still also a precious time for the possible lives under the debris. In fact, we have already saved 8 lives yesterday from the debris, and we also sent 10 of them to the hospitals for treatment, who are already on the stable condition right now. But unfortunately, there are still 34 people went missing. And so far, we have also evacuated more than 1,000 residents, and professionals are also inspecting hidden dangers and have installed monitoring machines. In fact, this landslide is very challenging to do the rescue work even without the extreme weather, without the heavy rainfall, because as you can see, it collapsed on this really narrow river valley whose space is really limited for big machines to maneuver around, to move around. But the big rocks, collapsed rocks, from what I can see, they are almost as big as these 3-story buildings. So to clear them up really takes some time, and we need to use big machines. But what's also concerning is that these major collapses happen at a clear and sunny day. But if we look back, the town has experienced heavy rainfall in the past 2 months, which means that this collapse is likely not caused by instant weather like yesterday's weather, but by water accumulated or be built up over the past few months. So the cycle of heavy rainfall followed by hot and sunny.
Now, I want to pause there for a hot second, family. I want you to understand what she said right there. This isn't something that happened immediately. This happened on a nice sunny day when nobody expected it. But she also said what? This started to accumulate over the past 2 months. What else happened over the past couple of months that caused a blackout of Asian businesses? The disrespect that they was bringing to us. So while they was over here disrespecting us, the mountain was over there accumulating a bunch of moisture, a bunch of water naturally. So they sat there and they kept disrespecting, and all throughout that time that they were disrespecting us, that mountain was just piling up with the moisture. And then when they least expected it, on a bright, beautiful, sunny day, the Most High said, yeah, let me take that away from you, player. Yeah, let me go ahead and show you not to mess with my people, player. Yeah, I'm thinking you don't need this right here, player. And in my head, I know the Most High was just watching these folks and watching the disrespect, and it's like, okay, yeah, just keep it up. And he was just looking at that mountain like, yeah, as it's filling up. He's like, yeah, with all the energy it took to disrespect us, that energy was returned straight to that mountain. Remember when I said that energy cannot be created nor destroyed? It can only be returned to sender. Well, I was wrong. It not only returned to sender, but it returned to the sender's country. Yeah, the Most High was not playing. All that time, 2 months it took. And then on a beautiful sunny day, the Most High took it away. When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes. Let's continue.
weather might likely to create the conditions for this kind of geographical disaster. So the question is how local authorities can better their monitoring of those hidden signs to prevent similar future disaster. Back to you.
Yeah, sorry, we did get a good look at the collapse site. It does look that the rescue work is going to be difficult, as you mentioned, because heavy machinery will be difficult to moving and start working there. Hopefully, more people will be found alive. We're counting on hearing more from you throughout the day. CGTN's Lu Sirui reporting from Pongshui County for us. Thank you so much.
Oh, but family, if that was not enough, see, you kept talking. You kept talking. What did our good brother Dick Gregory say? You keep talking, huh? Learn how to shut the F up, huh? That's what they kept doing. They kept talking. So do you think the Most High left it at that? You'd be sadly mistaken if you think he did. Nah, the Most High didn't just flood the gates. The Most High didn't just bring down mountains. The Most High said, hey, and let me give you a little bit more to deal with, because I don't think you understand what you did when you came after my chosen people. So the Most High said, you know what? I'm going to give you a little bit more to deal with. I'm going to give you a little bit more to deal with. And family, you will never guess what the Most High chose to do. While it's flooding throughout China, the Most High said, you know what? Let me go ahead and hit you with about 900 snakes. And I'm going to throw it all in the water, all throughout the flood. Deal with that too. You don't believe me? Oh, let's go here.
Here is have.
Now, family, I want you to look. These are snakes swimming through the water. Through the water.
It. Again. Wash. Oh. Stun.
That should answer your question, my brother. Is that a cobra? That looks like a cobra to me. Yeah, buddy.
Come. Now. Here.
Family. 900 snakes escaped during China flood. Like I said, leave us the hell alone. Every and anybody, this is a message to all other groups. Leave us the hell alone. Or may the Most High judgment fall upon you. Let his will be done. Oh yeah, Aquarius, I'm with you. It reminds me of the Hebrews and the Pharaohs. Judgment upon them, ABK upon them. Oh, family. Shout out to Yaya. Thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, family. Energy returns to the source. It depends on what the source of that energy is. If I'm sending out energy, whether negative or positive, if it does not go to the person that I'm sending it towards. If they return to sender, that comes back to me. Am I the source of that? Not really. The source is the Most High, which we all have the ability to tap into. Source. So in one instance, I would agree. However, it just depends on who you call in source. You see, I say return to sender because the universe is basically a karmic place. There are laws to govern this universe. So when I say return to sender, whether it is the sender or the receiver, both of them quite literally can pull from source. Doesn't mean either one of them are source. Now, source is within you. Let's be very clear. The source is within you. That's why the Bible says, know ye not that you are the temple of God and the Spirit of the Most High dwell within. The Spirit of the Most High is that source. So, yeah, I that's where we differ there. But shout out to you. I appreciate your contribution and I appreciate your thought on that. Now, family, China has turned to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Thieves with all the snakes, or better yet, snakes on the plane. I'm looking for Samuel L. Jackson in the water. I'm tired of these mother-loving snakes in the mother-loving water. Just leave us alone. Just let us be. Go about your business. That's all I'm going to say here. Like I said, all we do is tell folks to go about their business. We tell the truth. They get mad at us for telling the truth, and then they want to try to attack us for telling the truth. And it's just so crazy that, well, it isn't crazy. It's apropos. It is very apropos that each and every person, each and every group that decides to fix their mouth to disrespect us, they keep finding out on some sort of cosmic scale that that's not a smart thing to do. Do you think they will get it? Do you think it's hit through their thick skulls yet? Now, let's get into some of the political realm stuff here. Donald Trump is infighting once again with his Republicans over the confirmation of Todd Blanche. And this is because they do not, the Republicans, they're so pissed off that Donald Trump has exposed the Justice Fund and basically set up that whole settlement situation. They're so pissed off, even though it was shut down. They want to make sure that if Todd Blanche is confirmed, that it's going to remain shut down and he won't try to go out there and basically revamp the whole settlement after he's confirmed. And because of this, there's a back and forth going on with Tom Tillis and Donald Trump because Todd Blanche is refusing to put it in writing that he will not backtrack and reestablish that, settlement. Let's go here, family.
Can you tell us where things stand with this whole situation with the nomination? And now Trump's saying he may pull the.
That's his prerogative, but I don't know why he thinks it's just getting somebody confirmed unless we fulfill what we thought was the commitment from the administration.
What's the situation right now in terms of like
No,
what the
we're
White House is
continuing to
saying?
negotiate. You know, in this place, nothing's ever as good or as bad as it seems, so we're continuing to negotiate.
What can they do to get your vote? Like what is the main
exactly
thing?
what Blanche committed to. This is not Blanche's problem. It's clear to me that Blanche was honest when he answered without hesitation, working with us to end this. And I believe that one of the president's advisors who were party to this agreement is the problem, and they need to own it. Because the best case scenario is you come back with the same number of people next year, and our members are not going to be any more supportive of this than they are today. So the best thing is take the win, get Blanche confirmed, and get this agreement out of the way, because it's a yoke around his popularity. It's a yoke around our members of running in this election.
And so Trump's response to that was, well, hey, if you guys don't want to confirm him, that's fine. He said, I won't be signing nothing that comes out of Congress. He also said that, you know, I don't have to confirm Todd, really, because of the fact that his position that he's in, it doesn't have a time limit on it. Like other positions, there's a time frame and where you have to fill them, right? Yeah, Attorney General isn't one of those positions. And so he can let Todd sit around and just basically be acting Attorney General or interim Attorney General for the longest if he wants to. All because of the fact that he really don't have a time frame on getting that confirmed. Let's go here, family.
My reaction is the president's getting bad advice. He should listen to Blanche and others who think if it's dead, it should be rendered completely dead.
What do you mean he's getting bad advice? I mean, this is the president
Somebody's
making a decision.
told to not do what Blanche said they were going to do. Whoever that person is giving the president bad advice. The only reason why we would move forward with this language is because that same advisor wants to bring it back to life at some point.
It's in the advisors, but it's the president.
That you can draw that conclusion, Manu, and I can draw one that's got my eyes on the target.
And that's been very a common phrase of Tom Tillis as he's criticized the White House, oftentimes blames others in the White House. He didn't name any presidential advisor there, but in the past, he's blamed people like Stephen Miller repeatedly for various things that the president has done. But on this issue, John Cornyn also has suggested that perhaps it's the White House lawyers themselves who have intervened. Cornyn believed, Dana, that there could have been a deal reached between him and Todd Blanche over those main issues because Blanche himself testified that the $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund money that could have gone to January 6 rioters, that was all that was dead. That was not going to move forward. He simply wanted it in writing. He also simply wanted it in writing that Trump and his family and associates would not be shielded from future IRS tax audits, what was in line with Todd Blanche's testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee, but they were never able to get it in writing. And perhaps because of resistance from the White House, perhaps because of resistance from Donald Trump, but now it's very, very clear. Todd Blanche's nomination all but collapses. The president now doing an end run around Congress will keep him in his acting capacity and then try to renominate him next year. But who knows at that point who will control the Senate?
Yeah. Attorney General Todd Blanche's nomination is being held up by Republican Senators John Cornyn and Tom Tillis. They want written assurances that the DOJ's anti-weaponization fund and the Trump family's IRS settlement will not move forward. But President Trump is playing hardball, posting on Truth Social, quote, "I have no objection to temporarily withdrawing Todd's name if they do not do the right thing," and putting him back after Cornyn and Tillis are out of office. Let's bring in Fox News Sunday anchor Shannon Bream. Shannon, good to see you. So do you think this is going to happen? Do you think he'll pull Blanche's nomination?
Listen, it's possible because the way that the statutory framework works for the DOJ, I mean, he can just sit there as the acting AG while the AG position is open, and there isn't a running clock like there is for a lot of these federal positions where you have somebody that is identified as acting. He doesn't have that same clock, so he can keep still doing what he's doing. The president can withdraw that formal nomination, so there's no tension over an actual vote. But there are a lot of things that have to happen, including the Senate. Republicans have to hold on to the Senate with these two senators, Tillis and Cornyn, gone in order to be able to move Blanche's nomination forward if the president holds it and restarts this in January of 27.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
So, family, I find this to be very interesting because this Tom Tillis, this man, he is not letting up. This dude, he is out there seeming like the biggest hater that Trump got at this point in time. And, there's a lot of haters, justifiably. But this man right here, he is not pulling no punches. He's like, God dang it, he can do what he wants. He want to be stupid? Let him be stupid.
What do you think that it signals that the president is willing to withhold Blanche rather than cede to what we want to see?
I don't know if it's just a negotiating technique on his part, but it doesn't really solve any problems because there's no guarantee he's going to have enough Republican votes in January to confirm him if he withdraws the nomination now. I think we just ought to sit down and try to solve the problem. That's what we've been trying to do at DOJ, and we thought we were really close until now the president has basically blown that up.
Just in terms of the president's post earlier today, I mean, do you think this is personal?
Oh yeah. I mean, the president was treated badly when a IRS contractor released his personal tax returns. I mean, and the contractor's now in prison. So there was definitely a basis for the original lawsuit. But the problem is this settlement goes far beyond that and purports to provide future immunity from tax audits for all of the affiliated organizations for the president and his family, which I understand could go and range into the hundreds. And they weren't parties to the lawsuit, so they shouldn't be parties to the deal. And then the only other thing that we asked for is confirmation of what Blanche said to us, that the weaponization fund is dead. And so the fact that they're balking at putting that in writing tells me that they were hoping to get by with this settlement agreement and his testimony and then revitalize those provisions at a later date. And that's, I don't think, good faith negotiations.
I mean, at this point, do you think the president should make good on his pledge, if you will, to temporarily withdraw Todd Blanche's nomination?
I don't think that solves any problems. I mean, I think the DOJ needs a Senate confirmed attorney general, and Todd Blanche is probably about as good as we're going to get. And so I just think they need to do what Todd Blanche swore that this deal meant. They need to put that in writing so it's enforceable. And so far, they have been unwilling to do that.
So, family, I believe this is going to get very interesting. Like I said, the infighting continues on the Republican side and on the Democratic side as well. It's just infighting. Family, we're over here just chilling, loving life, creating dances, making music, living life, working hard. And, everything is falling apart because we're deciding to keep to ourselves and mind our damn business. Now, everybody's fighting everybody. Our brother Dewan B did a reading on this year. And our good brother said this was going to be the year of the fade. Oh, family, these people been fading all damn year. On the left, on the right, all the little shills, all of the FBA haters. Once we shut them down, then they start going at each other. It's it's very interesting. Very interesting to see, to say the least. But let's go here. Let's get into some of the DSA, shall we? Because we also got to speak about the situation that I told you we were going to speak about on Wednesday with the back and forth in the Democratic Party about the nominations and people who are undermining other Democrats in the party just so they can get people into those positions. Oh yeah, it's starting to hit some people hard. So let's go here. Zavon said, was that Condoleezza? Not Condoleezza. Shout out to Tobias Yuta in the building. Much love to you, my warrior brother, and thank you for being here. And thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, my warrior brother. Excuse me. Church, keep preaching. Keep on preaching. I appreciate the hard work that you do. 100. Much love to you, my warrior brother, and I appreciate you as always, family. And also, let me give a B1 salute to our good brother Drew Lasson. Much love to you. Thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold. Now, I appreciate your contribution as always. Listening from the road. Be safe out there on that road, my warrior brother. As I tell you always, make sure you got your power tool at the ready. Make sure them, type of weirdos, sociopathic weirdos, don't run up on you. Shout out to you, my brother. Now,
Democratic strategist and author James Carville joins me. Nice to see you, James. And tell
thank
me,
you, brother. Good to be on your show.
Always good to have you. The Democratic Socialists of America, are they a problem for the Democratic Party going into midterms, or an asset, or neither?
I think they're a problem. I think pretty clearly they're a problem. I think they're mostly urban oriented. I think they're way further to the left than the average Democratic voter. But yeah, I don't have any. That's their problem.
How does the Democratic Party how do Democratic candidates then back away from them?
Well, they have a right to run. I wish they wouldn't use the word Democratic if they're so adamant that they're not Democrats, and think of a new word. Why do you want to why do you run in our primaries? Go do your own thing. But anybody can run. There's no internal enforcement mechanism that tells people you can't describe yourself as a Democrat or a Republican or anything that you want to. But I think these people are extremely naive. I think that a lot of people that follow them don't need to listen very closely to what they said and what the ramifications it is. But we'll see. But we've got all these tremendous congressional candidates and everything else, and we got to see how they do. But sometimes when a party is growing and getting ready to have a big year like Democrats are this year, a lot of people want to latch on and be part of the parade.
In the last 35 years, and I think I've asked a lot of people, both Republicans and Democrats, in the last 35 years, have their views changed? And most of them say, no, they have the same political views they had 35 years ago, but the two parties have changed so much that it shifts them on the continuum of whether they're liberal, conservative, or moderate.
Family, that man should not have taken off his hat. That man should not. Oh, God, it was bad enough that everybody was in here calling him Cajun Skeletor, goddamn Crypt Keeper. When he took off the hat, the full Crypt Keeper came out. The 110% Crypt Keeper came the hell out. Oh, damn it. Why did he do this? Oh, continue.
5 years ago, but the two parties have changed so much that it shifts them on the continuum of whether they're liberal, conservative, or moderate. Have your views changed much in the last 35 years?
No, a little bit, not much. Look, one party expanded health care to almost universal health insurance. One party brought prosperity, the likes of what we've never seen. One party balanced the budget. One party negotiated a deal in Iran to get rid of nuclear weapons. There's real substantive and accomplishment differences between the two parties. And it seems to me that we're running against a political party that has done more to advance American ideals and American prosperity than any political party in the history of the United States. But that's me. But I haven't changed my worldview a lot over 35 years. I believe that government has a real role to play in softening the harsh edges of capitalism. I think that foreign policy and diplomacy have a big role to play in America's future. I think fiscal responsibility is a cornerstone American ideal. We're $40 trillion in debt. By the way, we lost a war. So just everybody understand that. The United States of America, in the year of our Lord, 2026, lost a war. And we just got to accept that. We lost. You lost, Johnny. You did. They don't care.
If history repeats itself, typically the party in power loses the midterms. That, of course, would be the Republicans this time. Elon Musk, if the reports are right, that the New York Times reporting is going to dump $100 to $120 million into some ground game. Can money make that difference for any party going into this election? Will $100 million, $120 move the dial that much?
So there was a Wisconsin Supreme Court special. I think it was in the last decade, but I'm not sure. And he put I want to say, just check me on the actual number. I think he put like, I don't know, $50 million in one Supreme Court race, and they lost by 10 votes. They lost by 10 points, more than 10 points. If the Democrats, if he has his money, he can, since United says he can put all of it he wants. I would advertise the fact that he's spending $100 million trying to buy your vote. Send him a message. Vote against it. I would actually make his $100 million donation an issue of how the Republican Party is totally overtaken by tech oligarchs. I would make that. I'd let him spend all of it. Spend more. Spend $200 million.
Well, I go through the numbers though, and I see that there are a lot of Democrats that are big donors too. Maybe not 120 million, but but it's a fact that both parties are sort of at the upper echelon. They're spending single people are spending a lot of money to dilute all the votes.
Well, I don't know if look, I raise money from Democrats all the time, as you well know. I work for American Bridge. Somebody got $100 million. They want to throw my way? Yeah, I am. I'm open.
Family, we just saw the Crypt Keeper campaign for a job with the Republicans. He just said, if they want to throw $100 and something million my way, here I am. I'm available. When I tell you that these people put on these political titles and take them off like a jacket, it just depends on the time and how much money somebody has for them. And they continuously show you every single time. Every time. They're so willing to toss their party under the bus, depending on how much money is going to be put in their pockets. Slow frame, shout out to you. Father of time in the flesh. Oh man, I would have thought that was death, but okay. Shout out to our brother William Aaron in the building. Much love to you, as well as our sister only Pamela's Way in the building. Dale is in the building. Shout out to you. And Maneuver Right is in the building. Y'all got me over here dying right now. Godly. Let's continue.
But for business.
All right, let me turn to the 2028 race, and I'm just going to pick a candidate because I mean he's not even a candidate. Nobody's a candidate at this point. But a name that you and I have discussed before, and I know you know him very well. But it's just sort of I'm just because I'm interested is because he has a resume that sort of checks a lot of boxes. Rahm Emanuel. What would be Rahm Emanuel's challenge to getting the nomination and winning? Because he checks a lot of boxes for the Democratic Party.
If he runs for president, he will likely be deemed the most qualified and experienced presidential candidate that has never been vice president or president before. Rahm's breadth of experience and knowledge is utterly stunning. Now, it's not always that voters of a party are looking for the most experienced or most knowledgeable candidate. There's not an issue that you can't talk to him about that he doesn't understand completely, that he understands it with nuance and that he hasn't thought about. And I got to tell you, as a really close friend of Rahm's, as a Democrat, he's making me very proud. He's one of the stars, and I take great pride in all of the wonderful accomplishments of the Clinton 92 people. When he's emerging is a real force, and I'm very happy for him.
But what he's got challenged? I mean, nobody else is talking about him, but pretty much just you and I are probably the only two talking about him right now as checking all those boxes.
Well, every time I turn the radio on to pick up an article, I'm reading about something he said. So somebody's listening to him. I mean, sat down for an hour and a half with Jay Mort. I heard him on the Politico channel 124 on the satellite yesterday.
Family, I ain't hear nothing about Rahm Emanuel until I started looking into the divide. Once I looked into the divide, then I started seeing the different situations with Rahm Emanuel's name being tossed here and there. But I ain't heard nothing. He ain't been on no major things. I ain't seen nothing. I ain't read nothing with his name in it until you start looking into the DSA. I'm with you, Dale. I'm with you 100-fold. Screw that man. And if they pick him, it wouldn't be a good pick whatsoever. Whatsoever. Let me give a B1 salute to our good brothers Yvonne Scott. Much love to you, my warrior brother, and thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, my warrior brother. Offerings to the church, a true minister of information, insight, justice, and empowerment. Salute to you, my warrior brother, and I am truly humbled Much love to you, my brother. And also, thank you for being a member, becoming a member. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate all that you do, my warrior brother. Family, let's let them continue. We're almost done here.
Interviewed for God knows how long. Every time I pick up the Wall Street Journal, he's in there saying something. So I don't know. Somebody's paying attention to him. And it's good because he's got smart things to say.
He seems moderate to me. Would you describe him as moderate or not?
He would not describe himself as moderate. Now, what I try to do is not describe what someone's political ideology. What I like to do is ask somebody, what do you consider yourself? But he said, well, I did universal pre-K. I did the high school, educated more people, got more high school graduation rates. I did more in community. I don't know. I don't know. People say I'm a moderate Democrat. I certainly view myself as a liberal Democrat. But if you want to call me a moderate, it's not a terrible word. I don't get offended by it. But I would certainly consider my own personal ideology I would describe myself as more of a liberal than a moderate, or certainly wouldn't describe myself as a progressive in the modern sense of the word.
James Carville, thank you. And it's going to be a huge bench on both parties. So I want to bring you back and talk about the other candidates, not just Rahm Emanuel.
Absolutely. I'm glad to talk about it. There's a lot of variety, a lot of choice out there. Thank you.
And you and I can have fun talking about it. Thank you, James.
Information.
All right. So that was James. Now, family, I want you to understand something. These Democratic socialists, they know exactly what they're doing, and they know exactly how they're doing it. AOC was brought onto the Majority Report and basically was asked about their strategy, and basically she just said it flat out, like, yeah, our strategy is absolutely to undermine and knock out different candidates and put our people in. Basically. Let's go here.
And it's also been really, it's been reported that you and Mayor Mamdani have worked quite closely together. And that was really clear in the New York endorsements, because the mayor endorsed 3 House candidates, 2 of whom successfully toppled incumbents, 2 of whom were DSA. You did not. But what doesn't get talked about is that it also worked the other way with assembly challengers. So you endorsed 3 assembly challengers against incumbents. All of them won. And it's the same situation for Mamdani and for you. You have to work with members of the House. Mamdani has to work with members of the Assembly to get his agenda across. And politics is dirty. And so there's a great chance that you're going to be retaliated against, either you or Mamdani, if you miss and the incumbent makes it, right? Like, that is, I would imagine, a part of the strategy and how you guys have been coordinating.
Yeah, I also think there's a larger conversation about the natural limitations that come with any one elected position.
Right.
And it is really hard to put 100% of every expectation in every situation on one person. And especially when that person is trying to execute on an agenda within the functions of their role. And so sometimes,
family, she's saying a lot of nothing, like she always do, but all she's doing is agreeing with the woman's point. Shout out to Masabusi Church. Who was that zombie land looking mother lover on the screen? That was oh man, Jesus Christ, man. That was James Carville, brother. That was James Carville. I'm telling you, y'all know, every time James get put on the screen, y'all go ham. I'll tell you what. Let's continue.
this coordination, it's not just explicit, it's also us functioning within the roles. And if anything, it also demonstrates the advantage of us organizing to support people at multiple levels of governance. Those pressures exist on him as a mayor because he has to coordinate his own budget for the city. The money for the city comes from the state, and his number one focus is being as effective as possible as mayor of New York City. And the same applies to me as a member of the House. And so some of this is also about demonstrating the advantages of what a growing coalition looks like at multiple levels of governance. There are those natural limitations. And also they create natural complementary strategies and positions.
like I said, family, that was just a long way to say, yeah, that's what we're doing. They're undercutting us, and we're undercutting them. Thumbs up. AOC, My Little Pony. I love it. Oh, yeah. Family, like I said, this is a free for all right now. You don't know what's happening in any party. Let's get into this situation with Rahm Emanuel and Bernie Sanders' punk ass. Well, both of them are punk asses. Nobody's winning there. Let's get into it.
John Fetterman, your colleague in the Senate that you caucus with, said that he believes Abdul El Sayed's candidacy and your involvement in these primaries is actually hurting the Democratic Party. This is what he said.
It means that puts that seat really in play. Absolutely. And that if he wins, that means there'd be a celebration over the GOP, 100%.
Is Bernie making it harder for Democrats to recapture the majority?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, what's he out on it? Well, what's in it for him? You know, if it's not anything more at this point, ego. You know, maybe sit a few out, Bernie. You know, it's you're not helping.
Well, the last poll that I saw in Pennsylvania, not a whole lot of Democrats think that he is representing them. And as you know, there's some question whether or not he flips and becomes a Republican. So I would not put too much credibility in what somebody like Fetterman says.
He said you should sit this out.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
So you think I should take his advice? I probably won't. But John, not going to take your advice. We're going to work as hard as we can, not only to elect.
I think you should take his advice. I think you should sit out every election after and during this one. Sit it out. You're done. Just go home. Go home, count your little, you know what I'm saying, top hat bucks, your little millions, while you're sitting there talking about billionaires, and you're a millionaire if not a billionaire. Go home. Really, all of you Democrats just need to go home. Each and every one of you, all of you. The Democratic Party needs to just fire everybody and start out fresh. That's what needs to happen here. Shout out to my brother William Aaron in the building. He said, Church, that the Democrats forget that they're broke and negative 2 million in the hole. You're absolutely correct. But here's the thing, even with negative 2 million in the hole, somehow, some way, they're still finding a way to fund the Democrat socialists. It's just the black Democrats that ain't seeing none of that money. Bernie is Carville's cousin. Oh, they're both Crip Keepers. What did it say? Carville is more like, Father Time. And Bernie Sanders more like death. Death.
El Sayed, Peggy Flanagan in Minnesota, and strong congressional candidates all over this country who have the guts to start taking on big money.
All right, let's get into the back and forth with him and Rama.
There is, as you know, though, concern within Democratic circles that these inter-party primary fights are draining resources and sort of, pulling away from what should be a unified message. Rahm Emanuel wrote in the Wall Street Journal, the Bernie bros could spoil Democrats' midterms. He said the DSA and others are saddling the party with nominees who, as he put it, wildly unpopular positions will protect Republicans from having to pay the price of Donald Trump's corruption. Said it was the socialists who led the charge to defund the police, open borders, abolish prisons. He's saying those are losing messages that are going to hurt the party overall. How do you respond?
That is what Rahm Emanuel is saying, who no doubt has the support of millions of working class people. Look, this is an argument. There's no debate. There is a strong division within the Democratic Party. You have an establishment like Rahm Emanuel, who are dependent on billionaire campaign contributors who want to maintain the status quo. Then you have a progressive movement, which, by the way, what is getting these guys nervous is we are winning all over this country. It's not only Mamdani in New York City, it's in New Jersey, it's in Ohio, it's in Colorado. People are sick and tired of the Rahm Emanuels And the Democratic establishment and the Republican establishment, they are asking simple questions, Margaret. Why in God's name are we the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people as a human right? Pretty simple question. Canada does it. Europe does it. Somehow we can't do it. Why do we have an economy in which one man, Mr. Musk, owns more wealth than the bottom half of American society?
Yeah.
Why do the economists tell us that in the richest country in the history of the world, our kids will likely have a lower standard of living than their parents? The American people are tired of a rigged economy, a corrupt campaign, finance system. They want real change. They don't want Rahm Emanuel and the establishment maintaining the status quo.
But in the meantime, I hear you on the message that you think is resonating on the, the tactical planning here. Do you think in the state of Michigan that you were just talking about with Abdul El Sayed, he's a public health official, he's a populist, but he's running against a moderate, Haley Stevens. Do you really think that in a state like Michigan, it's going to be a progressive Democrat who could beat a Republican in November? This was a state Trump narrowly won.
Absolutely. Whether it's Michigan, Minnesota, Vermont, or any place else in this country. The point I'm trying to make, Margaret, and the polling indicates this, the people are sick and tired of the status quo.
Yes.
We are the richest country in the history of the world. We should have the highest standard of living for all of our people, not massive income and wealth inequality. And by the way, we should not be continuing to get involved in genocidal wars with Israel in Gaza or getting involved in the destruction of Lebanon. People want change in foreign policy and in domestic policy. The status quo is not working.
But for Republicans who are looking at this, they're saying that's great. Is Bernie going to tell his supporters not to show up, for example, if Haley Stevens wins out in Michigan? Or will you say, in the end, the Democrats have to unify?
Margaret, the Republicans, and maybe it's the Republican establishment, maybe it's the billionaires who own the Republican Party. Your working class Republicans are not going to say that. They can't afford to pay for health care. They can't afford to send their kids to college. They can't afford decent retirements. And more than a few of them, by the way, will be voting for Peggy Flanagan in Minnesota and Abdul in Michigan.
Wishful thinking. Here's the thing. The places where a lot of these socialists are running, they're already deep blue anyway. So when he says the people, he's talking about people who's going to vote Democrat regardless. So even if the socialists get into those positions, they still have to run against Republicans. So what's the game plan for that? Because you can only go against each other for so long. You're admitting that the Democrats have billionaires that fund you guys, while admitting the Republicans have billionaires as well. And you don't think that we're going to take from what you just said that you are also being funded by billionaires in some way? If not China, because these people quite literally came out the other day talking about we need to support and protect China. Do you really think that you guys are on a good footing? I don't. Let's go here.
And you, of course, have this op-ed out, right, that the Bernie bros could spoil the Democrats' midterms. Now, it seems to have gotten under Bernie's skin a little bit, but I want to show you a clip of the chairwoman of the DSA, Democratic Socialists of America. Now, it's worth pointing out, El Sayed does not say he is a member of the DSA. We've had some DSA candidates in blue districts win nominating fights, but this is what the president is trying to focus in on when he says things like what he just said about communism. Let's watch that clip, and I want to hear what you have to say about it on the other side.
Abolish the Senate.
True.
Okay. Replace the presidency and Supreme Court as we now know them.
Yep.
Abolish ICE.
Absolutely.
Abolish borders and give amnesty to anyone currently in the U.S. illegally.
As a long-term plan, yep.
Defund the Pentagon.
Absolutely.
Abolish prisons, at least in large part.
Yeah, again, that as part of a long-term program, yeah.
Okay, so no prisons. Government or public ownership of most large corporations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that helpful for Democrats trying to win elections?
That can't be a pop quiz question. Of course, no, it's not helpful. And as you saw, tying that also to what Donald Trump just said, look, 2006 and 26 match up perfectly as referendums. There was an unpopular war in 2006, unpopular war today. There was corruption everywhere from the house of Tom DeLayville to what the Trump family, Wickoff family, and Lutnick family are doing in the sense of just literally in broad daylight taking money out of the bank, out of the treasury. You also had spiking gas prices. This election is set up, Casey, to be a referendum on Donald Trump's corruption and his inability to manage the economy and make people's lives better. Anything that distracts from that means you're helping Donald Trump. The DSA and that agenda is laid out does not play anywhere except for maybe on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And anytime a Democrat anywhere in a red to blue district has to either distinguish themselves rather than prosecute that the Republican would be a rubber stamp for Donald Trump is a dollar wasted, allowing us to not only get a majority, but more importantly, to then pass finally after 20 years, a minimum wage increase. And I said in the piece, and I said this, you have a battleground Senate race in North Carolina and one in Georgia. You have very significant Senate and gubernatorial races in both Arizona and Nevada. Do you think anybody in those states wants a member of the DSA to come campaign or many out of the Progressive Caucus? And second, since 2018, the Progressive Caucus hasn't flipped a single red to blue district. And to me, this is a consequential election where we could put a checkmate on Donald Trump, and we cannot risk it with diversions from the Democratic Socialists of America, who are giving them nothing but talking points. Because outside of that, it will be a total referendum on Donald Trump's corruption and his total mismanagement and malpractice on the economy and making life more easy for American people.
So you clearly delineated what you view as a problem.
Delineated? Oh, do tell.
For Democrats, or could be a problem for Democrats.
I gave this example. I was in Omaha a week ago for Denise Powell, great candidate. 3 times in a row, we had a very progressive candidate, lost that district. Kamala Harris won the district, had a Republican congressman, open seat. Denise is above 50%. They're calling her DSA Denise. Her opponent last week in city council voted against an increase in the minimum wage. Now does she have to spend resources saying, I'm not part of that agenda you just ran, or prosecute that I want to go past a minimum wage increase after 20 years, the last time 2007 when Nancy Pelosi got the gavel and we took the majority, but my opponent would vote no. You're going to have to pick. Not everybody has all this money. You have to make real life decisions. And if you're not flipping a red district blue, you're not part of stopping Donald Trump. And it's a waste of time.
So a very
It's that
clearly
simple.
delineated potential problem. Now, Bernie Sanders, on the flip side,
Delineated another potential problem, but they still ain't delineated the fact that without foundational Black Americans, none of you will win. You won't get back into office, and you certainly will not become the president of the United States. Continue.
says, and there's considerable anger in the base, right? He says that the establishment of the problem, in fact, he named you. He said people are sick and tired of the Rahm Emanuels and the Democratic establishment.
Yeah.
Are you the problem?
Yeah. So look, here's the point. I do believe the system's rigged. It is rigged against the middle class. You've heard me talk about this all over the country. Now, when I was mayor of Chicago, we got 20,000 kids free community college. You got to be average. About 40,000 kids got both universal full day kindergarten, universal full day pre-K, and hundreds of thousands of families got to raise a minimum wage. Those are all progressive policies. They moved our city forward. We were also the only city 7 years in a row, #1 for corporate relocations. Now, I don't talk about it. I don't talk about free college. I got 20,000 kids free college and relieve their families of any financial burden.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands, 11 years in a row, got to raise a minimum wage. You can either talk about it or get it done. And as you know, Casey, whether it was winning elections or passing universal health care, financial reform, it's not about the rhetoric or the goal. As I always say, the first 8 letters of progressive spell progress, not perfection. A lot of hot air out of Washington, not a lot of action out of it. I'm about making sure, like we did when Nancy Pelosi got the gavel, minimum wage. When Barack Obama had a majority in the House, he got healthcare done and financial reform done. Winning elections leads to the change in policies you want to see. Everything else is total distraction.
The most progressive thing that you can do is pay foundational Black Americans reparations. Oh, did that just fly out of nowhere? I'm sick of this talk of progressiveness and who's progressive, what's progressive, progress. The best progress would be paying what you owe so that we can progress as a country. But you guys refuse, and you guys will lose. This is just simple math. Simple math. You need us We don't need you. And now y'all infighting is splitting the people who are still on that plantation. And guess what? Let's say the socialists win. And the people who are still on the plantation refuse to vote for that socialist. So now they will vote the couch again. Well, if they ever voted the couch before, but they will vote the couch. So that adds to the people who is joining the couch party. So yeah, family, I don't think that these people are really thinking things through. I think that these folks are really caught up in the rapture, and not even a good rapture. It's hilarious to me. Very much so. A B1 salute to our good brother Antithesis in the building. Shout out to you, my warrior brother, and thank you for being here. And thank you for gifting 5 Church of B1 memberships. My brother, I appreciate you and all you do. Thank you very much, my warrior brother. And thank you very much to our sister Thelma Ramsey in the building. Much love to you, my sister. Thank you for being here. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contributions as always. Now, family, before we get up out of here, there's a couple more things I want to show you here. Just a couple. Because I am highly irritated by the nonsense that these people are doing because of the TPS ending, because of the deportations that's been going on. There's been a lot of nonsensical rhetoric going around. Namely, on Abby Phillips' show, who looks like they're hiding the pregnancy because she's getting thick in the face. I'm sorry to say it. Well, I'm not sorry to say it. I'm just saying she's getting thick in the face. Well, I'm thinking she's kind of, maybe she's pregnant. I don't know. Maybe she's not. Maybe she's just getting thick in the face. Anyway, I want to go here. It's showing in her neck now. Like, it's really not, like, I don't know. I'm one of those people that can call pregnant women. You know what I mean? You come around me and I can smell baby powder. I'll be like, oh, you pregnant. I'm like, how do you know? Because you pregnant. Just know I know you pregnant. And then when I see the little chubbiness coming around the back of their neck, I'm like, yeah, you pregnant. You pregnant. You're starting to spread out a little bit. Anyway, I digress. Let's get into the TPS situation, shall we? Hey, good point. Shout out to Black Rose in the building. Stop running and comply. Oh, yeah. Listen to me when I say this. If I smell baby powder and I was like, do you have on baby powder? And she says no, I will tell you right then and there, oh, you're pregnant. You're pregnant. And I have never not been wrong. Excuse me, never not been. That's a crazy word. I have never been wrong when I've called it out, nor have I been wrong when I've called the sex of the baby. Depending on how you sit, for me, I could tell you whether you're having a boy or a girl. And I've done it so much that I make bets with some of my friends and family and stuff like that. If I call the sex of this baby, then you have to name the baby after me in some shape or form, right? So I got nieces, nephews, my godson, his name is Lawrence. My niece, her middle name is Lauren. My other niece, her middle name, Lauren. All people that I made a bet with, and they had to, deal with their loss, not in a bad way, because, it's funny. Not only my godson, his name is Lawrence like me as well, but his father's name is Lawrence, and his father's name is Lawrence. So, that was meant to happen there. You know what I mean? But Let's get into it. Oh yeah, I'm very cold with it when it comes to telling you about the babies. That's why the babies love me. I can, if a baby's crying, stuff like that, I'll pick up a baby and the baby will look at me. And if they continue to cry, I'll cry in their face with them. And they'll look at me like, nigga, you know I'm the baby here, right? I'd be like, I don't care. You cry, I cry along with you. But babies love me. I could pick up babies and they'll just fall in love with me. So I believe that's the reason. I've always had this gift. You know, I believe the Most High has given me that gift for a reason because I love the kids. And I actually really do. Unlike people named Trick Daddy who make songs about loving the kids. But we see the outcomes. Anyway, shout out to Beauty with Brains. I digress. Look, but Beauty with Brains, she got her own way. I could tell by her nose that she's pregnant. Okay. All right. All right. See, I ain't the only one out here. Got my ways. Got my ways. Shout out to our sister Intrigue in the building. But before we get out of here, let me go ahead and play this.
I mean, when you have quotas, you're basically saying a dragnet is okay.
Well, look, I think the results speak for themselves. This is one of the areas where President Trump is doing strongest and Republicans are doing strongest is on crime. They have a 14-point advantage over the Democrats when it comes to cracking down on crime.
But we just discussed that we're not talking about criminals here.
Right. But
We're
this is all
talking
part
about
of the
people
concerted effort.
who are
really.
No, ma'am. Everybody who's in the country illegally, by definition, is a criminal because they committed a crime in order to get here. Whether it's civil, misdemeanor, whether it's federal, a crime is a crime. You committed an infraction. You committed a crime. It's still a crime. So you cannot divorce people who broke the law to get here and say these people aren't breaking the law. These people aren't, criminals, when quite literally it's in the definition. You break into a country, you committed a crime. That in turn makes you a criminal. Continue.
Those Haitians, there's no
not criminals,
evidence
actually,
that
by any stretch of the imagination.
there's no evidence that there is a significant number, if any, of the Haitians who are here on TPS who are the worst of the worst or criminals. This isn't about crime.
There is plenty of evidence that there is crime related to all of this.
Really?
By the way, this
Where's
is
the evidence?
You know what's
Where's the
really
evidence?
interesting
Larry,
about
where's
this?
the evidence?
Where's the
You know what's so
This is
fascinating?
putting so much stress on our entire system. On
You know
the
what's
healthcare system, on
fascinating
the
about
education.
this?
Well, if I
Where's
could
the
speak-
evidence of
So
the crime?
you just switched from crime to
Right.
Well,
healthcare
why-
to
He's all over. He's dream
No,
shaking.
but because it's all tied. You can't say that immigration does not impact all these other sectors.
all I'm saying is, where's the proof?
What I'm saying,
That's all I'm
we
saying.
just said that we're bringing in people from very violent countries. We have increased crime under the Biden administration during those 4 years, period. I don't think it's really up for debate.
It's very much up for
let me be clear.
Here's the reality here, because there's this thing in this world called facts. And the facts is that only 5% of the people that you're deporting are violent, convicted criminals. Those people that are the worst of the worst, violent rapists, gang members inside of our country. Everybody agrees that those people need to be deported, but you're only deporting 5% of violent, convicted criminals.
But yet you guys aren't deporting those people. Everybody agrees that all those people need to be deported, but yet then when it comes time to actually deport these people, it's people such as yourself that's throwing yourself in front of the ICE agents talking about, no, show me the warrant. You can't do this. You're breaking the law. You're not even real law enforcement. So by saying we're all in agreement that these people need to be deported, then why do you turn around and then throw yourself onto the dagger for these people that you claim that everybody knows and understands need to be deported? Like I said, family, they make up, down, and down, up, left, right, and right, left.
Let's go compare that to when Barack Obama was in office. 92% of the people that were deported under interior removals were convicted criminals. And of that 92%, 81% were deemed by the federal government as the worst of the worst. So we went from deporting that many of violent people inside of our country to only 5%. You guys are not focused on the real violent threats that are inside of our country, and that's evident. Well, then,
So,
you understand 5%?
so as I mentioned, Terry, as I
Is 5% allowed? Which number bigger?
It was
Terry,
not
hang
just
on a
about
second.
crime.
Hang
It
on
was
a
about
second.
education. It was about the healthcare system.
Terry,
it was about
just a
now we're
second.
talking about education.
What we're talking about here, and as I pointed out, the group of immigrants that we're talking about here are highly vetted, asylum seekers, TPS seekers, and in the case
Admiral, please.
Did you take a stupid pill with your breakfast this morning, Admiral?
How are these people highly vetted when they were quite literally storming the border? When Biden gave TPS status to the Haitians, it wasn't just for the Haitians he was smuggling in the dark of the night. It was for the Haitians who crept across that border too. So what do you mean they have been highly vetted? No, they haven't been highly vetted. They was brought on in like a bunch of roaches that you want to release into somebody's house in secret. Joe Biden went and got his dirty ass suitcase, filled it full of cockroaches, put it on a plane, and then flew it over here in the depth of night. And then while he was flying them over here in the depth of night, his son was releasing cockroaches at the border. This is how this works. Because it takes a while in order to do vetting. That's why it takes so damn long in order for citizens to get their citizenship. Partially, the vetting process.
Of what they're doing at airports, these are people who have pending immigration cases. According to the New York Times, they're going to these airports, and according to an immigration lawyer, they're casting a net for the people that they want to detain that is far wider. This lawyer has 4 clients who were detained at airports in the last 10 days, including 2 women who recently married Americans and are in the process of obtaining permanent residency through their spouse. One of the husbands was with his wife when he was taken into custody.
All right, so I want to get back to what this man was saying here, because this man brought up Obama and what Obama did and how Obama was actually deporting the worst of the worst. Well, I want to show you and remind you all, because this is a network that keeps receipts and invoices, just like many of us do in the new black media. Let's get into some of these receipts and invoices, shall we? This is Barack Obama.
This administration, the Bush administration, has done nothing to control the problem that we had. We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders since George Bush took office. It has become an extraordinary problem. And the reason the American people are concerned is because they are seeing their own economic position slip away. And oftentimes, employers are exploiting these undocumented workers. They're not paying the minimum wage. They're not observing worker safety laws. As president, I will make sure that we finally have the kind of border security that we need. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is to take on employers. Right now, an employer has more of a chance of getting hit by lightning than be prosecuted for hiring an undocumented worker. That has to change. They have to be held accountable. Start shedding some light on the problem, and we can once again be a nation of laws and a nation of immigrants. That's what I intend to do as president of the United States. This administration, the Bush administration.
All right, that was Barack Obama when he was trying to get into office. Hold up, we ain't done. We on one. Let's go.
And punish employers. We all agree on the need to better secure the border and to punish employers who choose to hire illegal immigrants. We are a generous and welcoming people here in the United States, but those who enter the country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law, and they are showing disregard for those who are following the law. We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked, and circumventing the line of people who are waiting patiently, diligently, and lawfully to become immigrants. We all agree on the need to better secure.
All right, that was that there. Now we got to keep going because I got to show you all exactly what they don't want you to be talking about. They keep on talking about alligator Alcatraz, but Obama had his alligator Alcatraz before anybody. Let's go here.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
White House also tomorrow will ask for more than $2 billion to handle a surge of illegal immigrants. More than 50,000 children without parents have been stopped by U.S. agents in the past 9 months. For now, they're being housed in overflow shelters. The question is how to return them.
The sudden influx of children has left the government scrambling to come up with possible housing options, from a vacant college campus in Virginia to an empty Walmart in New York. The administration is also trying to stop a pervasive rumor that children who cross the U.S. border will be allowed to stay. The president delivered this message to Central American parents during an interview with ABC.
Do not send your children to the borders. If they do make it, they'll get sent back.
Your husband's administration was putting kids in cages. Everyone was in an uproar when they thought it was Trump. Remember that AOC outside the cages? Oh, can't believe how they treat the children. Then when she found out it was Obama, she was like, next subject, please. Thank you. Thank you. Nothing else to see here. Why are you talking about old things? Stop talking about old things. I think some of the negative shit I saw on social, I think people on your team put it out to say, see how they treat them, see what they're doing to them, just to kind of back people off you in case they thought about giving you bad publicity.
Barack Obama running for president, obviously. You support Barack Obama. Barack went to Harvard, has his wonderful wife, Michelle. So many black folk in our society.
When I look back at the presidency of the Obama administration, I do not see them as victims. I see them as victors. Obama was throwing parties with the Jay-Z's and the Beyoncé's and the Hollywood swinging.
Shout out to Tim Black. Yeah, family, people don't want to remember these things here. People really act like, it's just a Trump situation and Trump is doing these people so bad. But when you look at the comparison, yeah, Obama's detention centers, it wasn't looking too good when in comparison to what these children are getting in Southern Texas, apparently, at this detention center.
This old warehouse in South Texas, the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol is keeping hundreds of immigrant children in cages created by metal fencing. The U.S. Border Patrol on Sunday allowed us to briefly visit this facility where it holds families arrested at the southern U.S. border and resulting separation of families. At that time, more than 1,100 people were inside the large, dark facility that's divided into separate wings for unaccompanied children, adults on their own, and mothers and fathers with children. The cages in each wing open out into common areas to use portable restrooms. The overhead lighting in the warehouse stays on around the clock.
All right, gotta go here.
Al Jazeera obtained just last week of the same detention center in Arizona. Still, the center had the feeling of a prison with kids held behind chain-link fences and razor wire. Officials couldn't tell us how many children are being housed here or how long they'll stay. They refused all requests for television interviews. These youth are part of a record wave of unaccompanied minors arriving on the U.S. border. Nearly 50,000 have arrived since October, mainly from Central America. That number could reach 60 or even 90,000 by year. Exclusive pitch.
To enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they're the kinds of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half century. If you're a criminal, you'll be deported. If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they're the kinds of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half century.
I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. When Obama was in office, kids went with their parents. Trump is in office. Kids are going with their parents. And everybody is losing their damn minds as if Obama didn't do the same damn thing at a higher scale. At a higher scale. And for everybody to say that these people are not criminals, well, Barack Obama didn't think so. Barack Obama put things in place to make sure that even if you got caught stealing a piece of gum because you were already here illegally, you were already a criminal, that criminal act will get you deported too. Let's go here.
Child of the 60s, seeing him become elected president,
was something, you know,
I
it's like
voted
you
for
live
President
it.
Obama twice.
You know,
I
you
did too.
you live
100%.
for it.
I
I
did
was
too.
glad to, you know,
Yes.
have parents who saw this and you know, knowing what our ancestors went through, never thinking that there was going to be a black man in office, even though we've had people who
Sure.
had black blood in them. But seeing that was wonderful. But people like this whole immigration thing, that was Barack Obama.
Now, speak plainly on that. Speak
So
plainly.
Barack Obama, in an effort to have some bipartisan wonder and grace and everything else, decided that he would go ahead and sign this immigration policy that allowed people to be removed from the country if they had any kind of record. And it didn't matter if it was a misdemeanor when they were a child. If they got stopped, it automatically became a felony because they were in this country illegally. So they got put out of the country. Under Barack Obama, more people got put out of this country than any other president.
Say it again for the ones in back.
More people got put out of the country under Barack Obama than any other president. And people don't realize everything that happened after that is a direct result of what he did as a child of the 60s.
So, family, don't let these people make you feel any kind of way. We already know what's been going on. We know that, God dang it, they need to go. Let them go. Because if not, we're going to get overrun just like Spain just got. Oh, in case you didn't know, before we get out of here, I got to show you what's going on in Spain. Give me a second to pull it up before we get up out of here. I got to show you what's going on in Spain. Because, God dang it, you know, Spain, the Supreme Court in Spain, basically came to a ruling that if you travel to Spain by sea, or if you swim, if you come in through the waters, right, that they cannot deport you. So, with all the illegals hearing that, and all the fleers hearing that, what do you think all of the fleers did once they heard that? Oh, don't worry. I'll show you. Let's go here. Oh, this one. There we go.
Spain is deploying its military to try to restore order along its border with Morocco. This comes as thousands of migrants stream into the tiny Spanish territory of Ceuta. At least 9 people are reportedly dead there today. Correspondent Nate Foy shows us tonight. Good evening, Nate.
Hey, Brett, good evening. Spain is sending in its military after its own civil guard called the border, quote, absolute chaos. Many of these migrants are swimming roughly 3 miles from Morocco to the Spanish territory of Ceuta. Thousands of them arrived on the beach today. Take a look at this. This capped off a surge from over the past week. Ceuta authorities previously blamed the migrant rush on a Spanish Supreme Court decision that guarantees due process for illegal migrants arriving by sea. Here's one of those migrants today.
It's very tough. The police officers tried to stop us, but our will and our determination, we could came here.
Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez posted in part on X, quote, this is the moment to build solutions with responsibility and cooperation. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni threatened to suspend Europe's passport.
Family, look at all these folk. Look at all these folks. See, when I told you all Wednesday and Sunday, I was very, very real when I said, if you don't want to be deported, liquidate your assets. And I told people, just go over to Italy and purchase one of those homes and fix it up. Well, some people must have been listening because, God dang it, this is what Spain is looking like right now. So for all you who are afraid of getting deported, it looks like you better get in that water and swim to Spain. Let's continue.
free travel system because of it. Spain's socialist government is exceptionally welcoming to migrants and recently launched a program to provide legal status for 500,000 people. The White House released a statement reading, quote, President Trump has long warned Europe what would happen if they continue to implement far-left globalist policies, including enabling mass migration. Spain and other countries who have adopted this destructive philosophy should immediately reverse course or risk their own demise. Spain's Interior Ministry says it's working with the Moroccan government to return everybody who crossed the border illegally. Brett?
Now that's one. Hold up, because I got to show you. These folks are getting very comfortable and they ain't even been there 3 days. Oh, in case y'all don't know what this is, they're standing around watching the police shut down the grocery stores because when they first got there, many of them was running into grocery stores just stealing stuff and running out. So now they didn't put a stop to it and they're closing the doors on them and they're just standing around watching.
Those frankly frightening scenes we've seen of hordes of young men, and they were mostly young fighting age men, as we keep repeating ad nauseum, flooding across that border. Absolutely no control whatsoever.
Yeah, it's clear Spain has completely lost control of its border on that enclave. If those aren't quite familiar with the geography of this, Spain has 2 cities, this is one of them, that are on the North African coast. They've been Spanish for hundreds of years, and these are that status is controversial, it has to be said, but that's where they are. So there's a physical land border for Europe in Africa, and we've seen the complete loss of control. Now, the Spanish authorities are saying it's hard to identify a specific reason for why this happened. Well, let me help them with 2 that they've recently done. The first was Pedro Sanchez's amnesty for about 1 million illegal migrants in Spain. So they've massively upped the incentive to cross into Spain. The second was last month, their Supreme Court passed a ruling that made it harder to return immediately people from Ceuta into Morocco, who had visibly just arrived. Morocco, like France, is not a war-torn country, is not a country you generally should be getting.
Family, look at all these people floating up on the goddamn beach like they're goddamn a beached whale or something. They can't get away. These are a bunch of crabs out of the sand. I do not understand. Why is this serious? Who?
Asylum from. So up went the incentive, down went the likelihood of being returned, and we can see what's happened next.
Yes, I mean, it seems pretty simple when you look at it in those terms. Politicians never seem to see it in quite the same way, do they? I mean, obviously, it's a huge concern for Spain. It's also a huge concern for what happens next with all these people. If they're all going to stay in Spain, we could just sit back and observe, couldn't we? But that's not necessarily the case.
No, a lot will depend what the Spanish authorities do next. If some of these people end up being transferred to the Spanish mainland, into Spain itself, then of course the Schengen zone, which Spain is part of, and which, by the way, Gibraltar recently joined as well, there's literally no border, but then no physical border. You know, there's a sign, but it's more like crossing a county boundary here in the UK. So between them and, for example, the Channel Coast, Germany, and various other countries, it's why, for example, Italy's taken the stance it's taken today, that if Spain cannot get control of its border, that clearly that will mean Italy will wish to review whether it maintains an open border with Spain. And you can see the efforts countries like Poland are going to secure the eastern land border. They want this now.
But under the Schengen agreement, is it even legal can Italy technically do that? Or would Brussels start?
Well, there are provisions within the Schengen treaties to be able to temporarily and in emergency circumstances reinstate border controls. But even then, you've got to question how effective that can be across large, fairly porous land borders, which don't have fences and infrastructure and checkpoints. You know, you literally ask the police to just pull up on the motorway and start doing some checks. That is only be effective to a certain extent. Really, Spain needs to get a grip of this. Pedro Sanchez needs to review his policies, particularly around granting an amnesty. And like probably would say in the UK, you also need to have a solution to returning people quickly.
I'm with you. I can't relate either. I can't relate to this at all. Family, I'm trying to tell you, get that water. Just imagine what that water smelt like. Oh my God. Just imagine. Imagine what it looked like. Imagine what it looked like. Hundreds of thousands of people just crawling out of dirty ass water. soaking wet, just drip dropping. All that smelly water on the sand absorbing it. Oh, man. Oh, that water. Why'd you do that to me, Antithesis, my brother? Let's go here.
Analysts have said that the surge on the border could not have taken place on this scale without the connivance or the negligence of border forces or other security forces in Morocco. Now, Pedro Sanchez blamed the mafia. He said the mafia had deliberately misinterpreted a Supreme Court ruling that said that migrants that came swimming across the border through the sea could not be taken back. And he said that was at the root of this surge on the border. He also said that he would be treating this as if this was happening on the M30 in central Madrid in reference to the central motorway just here. He said there was no periphery, and the people of Ceuta should feel reassured because there were troops being sent, there was more police officers and more border control guards, and he would do all that was necessary. He basically also talked about extending that physical barrier, the breakwater around which many of the migrants have swum. He said that would be extended. That was a promise actually made in 2021 as well, to bump up the border when there was a surge back then. And he basically said that he would work with Morocco and other countries to ensure that migrants could be sent back. And I can just let you know that according to police sources quoted by the Cashapp newspaper copy, 12,000 migrants have already gone back to Morocco, as some of them did it voluntarily when they realized the reception center in Ceuta was completely overwhelmed and it was very difficult for them to get food and water, some of them saying that they realized the police would send them back anyway.
Oh, family. You want this to be America? I know I damn sure don't. Play this last one in closing.
Political elite, they're watching it, they're enabling it in real time, and I don't know how this stuff is reversed. I'm 42, and I know that.
You're 42? Man, I tell you what, I was going to guess about 51, maybe 52, 42. I digress.
That's it. But my country, my continent, my civilization, my freedoms, my way of life, my safety, my ability to walk around the streets where I grew up freely, I know it's over. I know it's over because of what's going on and what's happening. And we're watching it in real time, and this is war, and this is being conducted by hostile states. And I cannot wrap my head around how we have a government, and frankly, successive governments, not just in the United Kingdom, but across the West, of the left wing particularly, who, for some reason that I just cannot fathom.
Yes, the hell you do, my sister. Godly, I'm telling you right now, don't ever feel bad about how you look, or anybody in our family. None of us need to worry about how we look, because we look at these folk. Oh man, it shows you how good Joe Jeans is in comparison. I'm just saying.
At the very least, are turning a blind eye to this. At worst, they're actually complicit. I don't know. What is going on?
As you can see there, Alex, all of these are young males. And you're absolutely right. Do you remember the day a couple of years ago when Yvette Cooper said, oh, no, she would take in some illegals? Well, I don't quite remember her taking in any. And this is a real disaster for the whole of Europe. Do you know the one thing that many Remainers mistake about people like you and I? They think that we don't like Europe. Well, we do like Europe.
I love Europe.
We love European.
I want
countries.
Europe to remain.
That's right, absolutely. What we don't like is the European Union. And thank goodness the British people had the common sense in 2016 to vote to leave the European Union. Of course, the political masters did everything they possibly could to have kept us in one way, shape, form or another. But Andy Burnham does need to make it absolutely clear that we will not take in a single person of the 49,000 that are entering this Spanish enclave.
We should take nobody of anywhere, not of this 49,000, but anywhere. We need to declare a national emergency. We've learned that IRGC have shipped operatives in. We know this. The counter-terrorism czar, Robin Simcox, told the previous government, Rishi Sunak, that guess what? Guess what? Terrorists use illegal routes. Well, of course they blooming well do. Of course they do. I have it.
Family, she is pissed off. I ain't never heard cursing like that. Of course they blooming well do. What the hell is a blooming well? Of course they blooming well do.
On good authority from people within the intelligence community that caches of weapons are dropped over the edge of those boats, and at night, they've got trackers on. At night, with GPS, caches of weapons are being picked up in the channel and brought to shore. That's the way a lot of weapons got shipped into Gaza. I have it on great authority from people in the intelligence community that among the people who have broken into our country are 500 jihadist trainers. I have it on good authority from people in the intelligence community that we have so-called summer camps happening around the United Kingdom, where young Muslim men are being taught how to do parkour, you know, running in and out of buildings. They're being trained in paintballing, you know, firing guns, and trained in flying drones. I don't think that sounds like a summer camp. I think that sounds like a jihadist training camp. And guess who's been telling the UK this? American intelligence. No. And nothing's being done. We are living through in real time an Islamic invasion into this country. It's going to end with blood spilled in our streets. And I don't understand that the Prime Minister isn't talking. I don't know if has Kemi Bader not said anything today? Is she piped up?
Family, like I said, call ICE, call them twice, call them thrice, call them thrice, if that's even a term. If not, I just created it and y'all was all here to witness it. Damn all that, we ain't having this. So I want you to get the daddy, I want you to get the mama, I want you to get the baby, I want you to get the dog, I want you to get the cat, I want you to get the rat, I want you to get the roaches. I want you to get everything, the spiders, everything in that house. And I want it all deported, each and every one of them. But where the hell are you going to deport a spider? I don't know, but deport that ass too. This is exactly what we don't want. Knock on wood. This is exactly what we're fighting against. While everybody is crying all over the floor for a bunch of people who are trying to do this here in America. You got me messed up. I'm going to be honest with you. You ain't going to be able to tug on my heartstrings. Every time the Democrats come out trying to tug on my heartstrings about these people, we're going to have another broadcast like this to remind people why your heartstrings need to be put away. Lockbox it. Put it behind the lock. Put it behind the door. Shut it down. Shout out to Andrea. She said deport the spider in a glass bottle. Shout out to you, my sister. Before we get up out of here, let me go ahead and give a B1 salute, shalom, to our good brother Tobias Yuda once again. Thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, family. Facts, first word, illegal, next, immigrant. Absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to our sister Thelma Ramsey. Thank you for becoming a member, my sister. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always. And yes, you're absolutely right. You still look younger than this. You look great and fantastic at 70 years old. This woman right here is looking very... Let's just say I would put her in a horror movie if I could. Akira Bob, shout out to you and thank you for being here. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as well, family. Thank you for your gift. And to our good brother Snatch Adams in the building, much love to you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your contribution as well. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate all that you do, my brother. Not one woman amongst the group, church. Not one woman. All men, all pixel sticks, all Johnsons. And that's what they're allowing in their country. And that's what they were trying to allow here. Yeah. A hell no. A nay no to all of that. But family, I'd like to thank you all for lending me a bit of your Friday. Shout out to each and every one of you. I'd like to thank everybody in the chat, everybody who's donated, whether by Cash App, Super Chat, PayPal, or anywhere else. I want to say family, at the end of the day, when we're sitting back enjoying our day, oh, the world's on fire. And you love to see it. I love to see it, to be honest with you, because the world's on fire due to the very same things that we've been telling the whole damn world about to begin with. It seems like all these folks had to do was listen to us. But they refused. And guess what? When you refuse, I got to say, like this brother, John Batiste, you going to catch the blues.
How you can break a barrier, a musical barrier, go from one genre to another?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we were just messing around, being that we had Julia, you know, Beethoven, you know. But you know, the blues. Gospel.
With that being said, family and friends, if you're not subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click the link in the description, go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. Family, I will see you Sunday for Sunday service, and it's going to be a good one. When I say we're going to be talking about the reality of Black America. So I look forward to seeing you on Sunday, family. Enjoy the rest of your FBA Friday. I will see you in our good brother Black Alphas live. And with that being said, sorry, not that part. Stay black. Stay safe, and most importantly, family, stay foundational. The doors of the church are now closed. Peace, fam.
My grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York. You know, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get. All you people see is color. Your grandfather was an immigrant. You're American. My grandfather was born here, Duke. And you people still look at me as just another nigga.
I know that the government, whatever, can't stand us black people. He's doing everything in the world to make black man be extinct. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Us black people going to survive. Yeah. So fuck everybody. I'm off.